I think I've done it twice before in this series, is I use the game 3 for 2 to get more credit out of CEX.
Let's go!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the free trading game collection, this series where I build a video game collection without spending any money on it. It is quite literally that simple. We do have a profit running in this series right now as well. I didn't actually set out to do that when I first started the series. I actually just wanted to build a video game collection and not have to spend any of my own money building it. We've managed to do that, but we also have a cash profit which is on screen for you as well. So that is the amount of money that we've made in this series. We can go out and use that if we want to buy video games, knowing that they would still be free, because that's how much profit we've made, which is awesome. If you've missed any of the previous episodes, though, go check out the playlist. It is linked down below. There are over 70 videos in this series. I know a lot of other people, especially those in the US actually, that would have done a series like this. And there are a fair few similar ones out there. By episode 70, they would have walls of games and about 25 consoles. For me, I take things a lot slower. But also, I find it very difficult to find games and things in the wild. You know, in the US, there are a lot of DVDs, for example, that are worth money. Why is that relevant? Charity shops are stacked full of DVDs. You can walk in and scan them all and come out with maybe one that's worth double what they're charging. You know, it's not as easy as it is in other places around the world when it comes to things like DVDs. Video games, I hardly ever find them in charity shops. And when I do, they're not great. So sometimes I have to think outside the box, and I don't like doing it in this series. However, on this occasion, and in a video like I did maybe a couple of weeks ago, I found a football shirt, an Italian football shirt that is, I think, from very early 2000s. It was around £5 or £6 or something, and it sells for about 35, 45, somewhere in that region. And it still hasn't sold. I'm not in any rush to get rid of it, but it will sell, and we will make a decent amount of profit on that. Going to do the same thing again today, very quickly, not going to dwell on it because I know a lot of people don't care, but I found a Liverpool shirt from, again, the early 2000s, and I found a Inter Milan shirt in this charity shop, both £3 each. The Inter Milan shirt has already sold, it sold quite a while ago. For 30, could have got more for that. I actually wore it a few times as well because I was intending on just keeping it, but I've lost so much weight recently through running and, you know, exercise and eating and all the rest of it, that's generally how you lose weight, right? That it just doesn't fit anymore. It's just far too baggy. I'm quite proud to say that, but yeah, it was an XL. It's far too baggy, had to get rid of it. The Liverpool shirt I actually already have, so I'm looking to sell that as well. I think that's for sale for about 30. If we can get that, that would be nice. I would say that for £3 each, by the way, that's an absolute steal. I'm a big fan. £6 spent. We're going to be able to sell those for 60 combined. But of course, you do need to take fees out and the amount that I've spent as well. So I will throw down here somewhere the updated figure of how much profit we're putting into the series. Now, I know a lot of people don't know anything about football shirts. You don't care about football shirts, and that's fine. You may know things about books, pottery, and the like that I don't know anything about. And it doesn't have to be video games. You don't have to buy video games to sell video games to be able to buy more video games. You can buy, like I said, books, sell books, and use that money to buy video games. I tend to just try and stick to video games and consoles and electronics as much as I can in this series. So it's all tied into one nice little package, but also that we can maybe trade them into CEX as well. I can't trade football shirts in, unfortunately. That place needs to exist. I don't know if classic football shirts would do that. I'm guessing they kind of would. Anyway, I digress. Nice little pickup. Decent amount of money to chuck on the pile, which is good. We now, I think, have over £400 profit in this series. If I really want to, I could go into CEX and buy something for £400 or a collection of things for £400, knowing that the money is there in profit. So it's all going to be free. Whatever we use that money for is free. I am going to use some of it today. We're going to go to Game in Newport. Now, this is one of the only, I say one of the only, I haven't Googled it or looked it up or been to anywhere else in the UK to actually find out, but as far as I'm aware anyway, everywhere I go, all the game stores are now tucked in other stores, Sports Direct, House of Fraser and things. This is a fully fledged game store and they have a massive selection. And the PS4 selection and PS5 is quite impressive. They do have a Switch selection as well for the 3 for 2, which there were, I think, there was like one game, City Skylines. I really, really wish I'd bought it. I don't have footage of it, unfortunately, but I do really wish I'd picked that up. I'm guessing they don't have that there anymore. And they did have one or two others that I was umming and ahhing about, but in the end, I decided not to. I did have a very good look at the PS4 section. Now, what I like to do, and we've done it recently, I think I've done it twice before in this series, is I use the game 3 for 2 to get more credit out of CEX. It's such a really good deal, and I think before long they're going to drop the game name and just call themselves 3 for 2, because I'm pretty sure that's all people go there for now. But I'm a big fan of it, and I honestly wish that they'd have more stores. Like one near me, I really didn't take advantage of that, and it might have even still been open had I spent more money in it. I blame myself, I really do. However, with that being said, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to find games that will trade in for the same amount that we can buy them for, if not more. And of course, if you can get 3 games for £20 that trade in for 30, you're getting £10 for free that I can spend in CEX. Essentially, that's kind of the way it works. So, with that being said, I did pick up 3 games. Here's 2 of them. So I'll show you me walking out of the store with these games so that you can see the third one, because the third one I actually traded in. I kept 2 of them. I didn't actually intend on keeping both of these, but then I couldn't bring myself to trade them in because I was thinking, well, what am I even going to buy with the credit here? I actually want these games. One of which I actually had the original on, essentially, on the Mega Drive as a kid. This is, I don't think it's a 1-for-1 remake, but it's kind of similar, and that is Power Rangers Battle of the, For the Grid. Now this is essentially just a beat 'em up. I think it's like almost like a tag team beat 'em up, though. You can do like 2-player tag team. It's in a 3 for 2. I've taken the sticker off because I actually tried to record this once, took the stickers off, and then realised I needed to record it again. So there it is. I've already played it. It is a very hard game from the, I don't know, 45 minutes probably that I've put into this so far. I remember playing the original Power Rangers game on the Mega Drive, and I loved every second of it. So when I picked this up, I put it in, had a little go, and now I kind of have to keep it. That was $7.99, of course part of the 3 for 2, but it does trade in for £8, so our money is safe there if I really wanted. I could just trade this in and get that back. I spent £18 in game. So that's 8 of it right there, kind of. The next game, and the game that I'm going to keep as well, and one of the reasons, I know it's really stupid, like this is the reason why I'm keeping it. This has just had a PS5 graphic upgrade, and it includes the disc version as well. So if you have the disc version, they still give you that upgrade. So it'll run the disc, but then it'll just apply the graphics from the download, I'm assuming. I don't know how it works. But this is The Witcher Game of the Year Edition. It's got 2 expansion packs and 16 DLC things. I'm guessing they're all on the disc. Does the disc... The disc does say Game of the Year, actually, so I would assume it's all on the disc. Because with things like this, I'm always wary that if they're a DLC code, for example, and it's a second-hand game, you're not going to get that. It's just going to be the normal game that has Game of the Year written on it. This is interesting, though. This was $9.99. This is the reason why it was 18 and not 16, because both of these together essentially were the 2 games that I paid for, and they came to £18. This trades in to CEX for £12. So I actually made a £2 profit on that, if I really want to. Now, I tend to play a lot of my games these days on the Switch. Just finished Arcade Paradise, as I mentioned in the last video. I've been playing a little bit of Surviving the Aftermath, which, by the way, does not run well on the Switch. It is I wouldn't say it's a god-awful experience, but it is not a fun experience. I'm actually tempted to not play that anymore and maybe get it on... Is it on Steam? I'm not sure, but I'm tempted to maybe get it on the PS4. Either way, I like playing my Switch, and The Witcher is available on the Switch. Is it blasphemy to want to play a game that is going to look amazing on the Switch where it won't look as good? I'm going to give it a go on the PS4 first and see how I get on, because I just feel like I get more game time out of the Switch. That's why the Switch is, for me, my favourite console, because I've mentioned it before, and I just want people to know that that's why I'm collecting not mainly, but strongly for the Switch, is because I get more game time out of a Switch, because I can play it anyway. So those two games were purchased, £18 spent. However, I did buy another one, and that footage is on screen for you right now. So as you can see, in the wet, on the floor in Newport, trying not to get mugged because it's that kind of place. I got Isle of Man TT. It's the first one, not the second one. Now this was $7.99 as well, which means it was the free game because you get the cheapest one free. This trades in for £10 into CEX. So I'm not a massive fan of like superbikes or anything like that, or racing motorbike kind of games. It's not really my thing. I'll play the odd one every now and again, and I may pick some up in the future to, you know, give it a go. But for me, there was a game in the Newport CEX that I really wanted, and it was ironically the same price as this trades in for. So it was a bit of a no-brainer. I kind of made my own 3 for 2 cross between CEX and games. So I took Isle of Man TT into CEX, had a little look around. They had a fair few things, quite a few Mega Drive games in there, which was quite nice to see. One Turtles Mega Drive game that I absolutely want. I think it's the Tournament. Really want that game, but it's about 45 quid, which is just a little bit out of my price range of £10 at this point. Quite a few Sega Saturn games, some N64 games. I think Bad Fur Day was like 220 quid or something ridiculous. A lot of good things in the glass. Not that many games on the shelf, actually. They're a bit like the Cardiff CEX at this point. They had been completely ransacked. It was just after Christmas. However, there was one game that I'm happy to report they had in stock, and I picked it up. So the game I picked up from CEX was a Mega Drive game. They didn't really have an awful lot else worth shouting about. One of the ones that were in the glass, Turtles. That is a £45 game. It may have actually gone up since then. It's not even the Turtles game that I want. It is one of the games that I do want, but I don't want that above some of the other Turtles games on the Mega Drive. So I went for something that I've wanted for a long time. I've had it on the PlayStation 1, still have it on the PS1, probably going to look to sell the majority of the PS1 collection off at some point, but this is one of my favourite, if not my favourite Mega Drive game of all time. It's a cheapie, but it's a classic. It is Theme Park. This was 10, it's since gone up to 12, and I know it's a cheap game, and I know that it's more fodder for the collection, if you will. Speaking of fodder, cannon fodder, I can't find that anyway. No one ever has it. I've seen one copy since I've started doing this series, and I should have bought it, and I didn't even ask the price of it because it was in a video game store, and I didn't really have the money to buy it at the time. However, I digress. I will find it again eventually. This is complete. You're probably seeing footage of Theme Park right now, but trust me when I say it is in very very good condition. Big fan of the game, massive fond memories of it, and I sunk hours and hours into it. And then when the Sega Saturn came out, I got it on that platform as well, and I sunk more hours into that, and then eventually played it on PS1 as well. It is probably up there with one of my most played games of all time. I've sunk hours into numerous games over the years, but Theme Park is one that I just kept going back to over and over and over again. Really happy to finally get that in the collection, and there we go. 2 games from the game 3 for 2 that I actually didn't think I'd end up keeping, and then Theme Park, which I swapped essentially for the Isle of Man TT racing game.
But wait! There's more!
So before we end the video, I do have another pickup to show you, because this one was from the same store. They had some decent Mega Drive games in there that I really wanted. I think we've already talked about Turtles that they had, but they wanted like 45 quid for it. It wasn't really in position to do that, but they did have another game that I've been wanting for a while, because I want to get all of these. To be fair, I want to get I wouldn't say nearly all the Mega Drive games. That would be unobtainable for me personally, I think, but I want to get an awful lot of the Mega Drive games. But this series in particular, I want to get as many, if not all of them, because I don't think that they're that expensive. So Theme Park we picked up, paid for by TT. But this one, we're going to have to just take out of the cash profit, because I couldn't leave it there. It's nothing crazy. It cost £12. It was Mickey Mania. Now, normally, I would be more than willing to leave this, because it's not an uncommon game. I have seen it in 1 or 2 other shops. over the course of the last 6-7 months or whatever it may be. But the condition of this is mint. It is, I mean, okay, that's, whoa, it's not mint, but by CEX standards, I'm actually very surprised they didn't consider it mint, because there's not really a mark on it. I suppose the very bottom of the insert, there is a little bit of a scuff, just a very small one, but it's complete with, if I can open the damn thing, it's complete with the manual, which doesn't look like it's ever been touched, not been read, not been taken out of there at all. The label is banging as well. As you can see on the back, it did come from CEX, but I'm a big Disney fan. Maybe I don't look it, but I am. I love Disney and everything about it. So to get the Mickey games, and I think we only have one more, I want to say, to get before we've completed the Mickey collection, if you will, on the Mega Drive. I think. I might be wrong in saying that. There's probably 27 of them, but I think we have like 3 or 4 now. There can't be many more, surely. I'm getting Mickey and Donald confused for some reason, because they do bundle Quackshot with Castle of Illusion. So we have Castle of Illusion and we have Mickey Mania now as well. So, not bad. I don't know how many more there are, but we will add more in the future. I've got a pretty decent, sizable trade coming up in an upcoming video. Still got that charity shop pickup to show you, and another Facebook trade going on as well. There's a lot going on here, so we will get to that in future episodes, but that is officially it for this one. If you have enjoyed it, do me a favour and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, of course, and until the next time, goodbye.